Welcome inside TD Garden, everybody. My name is Mike Petraglia, joined by Sam Packard, Celtics writer for WEEI.com, following a scintillating, thrilling, exciting, and really, Sam, unbelievable finish to this game number 4 between the Celtics and Hawks. The Celtics go to overtime, and they beat Atlanta by a score of 104-95. They trailed at one point in the second half by 16 points. They were down 62-46. Celtics make a big run in this game. Then they're up 4 points with under a minute to go, and then Jeff Teague hits a pair of back-to-back three-point shots to give Atlanta the lead, 92-90. Isaiah Thomas, his kids celebrating his great game behind us right now. He had a big layup toward the end of regulation with 15 seconds to go. Then I think one of the plays everybody's going to be talking about, the last 15 seconds dribbled out by Jeff Teague, and we go to overtime. First of all, what did you think of that last play of regulation?
I was shocked that the Hawks weren't able to get anything off. There's actually 2 timeouts before that happened, and the play that was drawn up was just an isolation for Jeff Teague at the top of the key. And I think the whole action started way too late. We saw Kyle Korver kind of come across, but that was about 5 seconds left in the game, and by that point, Teague really didn't have anything to work with. And the big question is, you had Paul Millsap, who had at that point scored, I believe, 45 points, did not touch the basketball in the final possession. Really made no sense. He had struggled late, or not struggled, but was a little bit slowed down by Marcus Smart in the post, but he was still the best player, and it's just inexcusable not to get him the basketball.
I thought so, and, we talked to Isaiah Thomas after the game, and the point was brought up, what did you do on that final play? And he said, don't give me any credit for that. I frankly didn't know what they were doing either. And that's Isaiah Thomas talking about what Jeff was going through Jeff Teague's mind. Obviously, Teague lost possession and control of the ball a little bit, and then there was really not enough time to get off a quality shot. But in the end, though, I think the biggest takeaway from this game is the mental toughness of the Celtics, and that is certainly symbolized by the defense Marcus Smart threw at Paul Millsap for the final 15 minutes of this game.
For the first 3 quarters, Millsap was unstoppable. He was unstoppable in the post. He was unstoppable in mid-range. He was knocking down spot-up threes. There's really nothing the Celtics could do. Jay Crowder couldn't really guard him. The bigs certainly couldn't guard him. Amir Johnson, Jared Sullinger, Jonas Jerebko. There was nothing they could do, and Brad Stevens actually just turned to Marcus Smart at one point and just said, guard him, and Marcus Smart went out and did it. And that's kind of the mentality of Marcus Smart and this entire Celtics team, is when they're faced with a challenge, they kind of rise to that opportunity. And there's just some crazy moments in this half. They scored in the final minute of the third quarter. They scored 8 points. And then later in the fourth quarter, Marcus Smart scored 8 consecutive points on his own. And there's wild runs that just allowed the Celtics to eventually, first get back into the game and then take the lead in the fourth quarter.
I really think that if you're the Celtics at this stage of the series, you got to be feeling very, very good about the way you took care of business and held serve on your home courts. Sure, the Hawks did too, but I think in terms of the ability of the Celtics to lock down defensively at the clutch moments of a playoff game really is what wins playoff series.
Yeah, we saw that in the overtime. The Hawks only scored 3 points.
Right.
They had limited the Hawks to only 37% shooting, and it's they've been playing great defense, and it's whether or not the scoring would be there. And we saw in these 2 games at home, without Avery Bradley and without Kelly Olynyk, he came back tonight but only played 3 minutes. They've been able to piece it together. Game 3 was Isaiah pretty much doing everything by himself. Tonight it was a little bit from everyone. Jerebko had a big game, Turner had a big game, and then again Marcus Smart stepped up.
And Marcus Smart with 20 points off the bench. He was your second leading scorer behind IT, who finished the game with 28 points. I think, if looking ahead now, as we like to do on these webcasts, you have to think about game number 5, Tuesday night in Atlanta. The Celtics, certainly with the momentum, I would think, on their side. What do they need to do to make sure that Paul Millsap doesn't get off to the kind of start on Tuesday night that he did tonight? Is it just as simple as putting Marcus Smart on him? Because Marcus Smart, remember, has not been starting the last 2 games.
Well, it's kind of a difficult equation because Marcus Smart, when he's guarding Paul Millsap, that means he's not guarding someone else. And
Kyle Korver.
He did a very good job of guarding Kyle Korver earlier in the game. And we've seen earlier in the series, Kyle Korver can get off, and if he can get hot from 3, that's very dangerous. So it might be a situation where you're fine with Millsap getting points as long as no one else is. I think an interesting key to this game is at the end of Game 3, Al Horford actually hurt his hip, and he hasn't been the same player ever since. And tonight, he only finished with 5 points, and that's going to be huge for the Celtics because they don't have the advantage in terms of talent, especially with Avery Bradley out and Kelly Olynyk hurt. But if they can kind of just get by with gumption and elbow grease, which they did the past 2 nights, I think they have a real shot moving forward.
Kelly Olynyk did return in this game, but I don't really think he had, a huge impact on it. He does help space the floor, and I think most importantly, Sam, he does give a blow to some of the big men like Amir Johnson and like Jay Crowder if Brad feels that he needs to give them a break.
Yeah, I think before the game, we kind of, in talking to Brad, you knew that he wasn't going to play a large role in this game.
Right.
He's still coming back. There's still limited mobility, and there's still some pain. But I think maybe with a day off, can contribute more moving forward because they're going to need it. They had 4 players play over 40 minutes tonight. They really only played a rotation of 6, some Terry Rozier moments, some Jared Sullinger moments. So they're probably going to be pretty tired, but it's the playoffs, so you're going to have to step up. So if Kelly Olynyk can give him even 10 minutes in Game 5, that's going to be just helpful for rest purposes.
Bottom line is the Celtics get the job done. They have to go to overtime to do it. They beat the Atlanta Hawks 104-95. They even this series at 2 games apiece. That does a couple of things. Not only evens the series, but it also ensures the Celtics will be returning to this building. Maybe Bill Belichick, Rob Gronkowski, Robert Kraft, and LeGarrette Blount will be on hand like they were here on Sunday for game number 4. We'll wait and see until Thursday. But before that, Celtics have to take care of business and try to get a road win in this series. Game number 5 is set for Tuesday night in Atlanta with the series tied 2 games apiece. He is Sam Packard. I'm Mike Petraglia inside TD Garden, WEEI.com.